Hello and welcome to a holiday classic episode of Go on Shaw TV. I'm your host and Christmas freak, Alexandria MacFarlane, and this week we're at the Trethewey House Heritage Site in Abbotsford. There is a lot of history and memories within this heritage house, and to give us some inside details is Christina. So Christina, can you please tell me, first off, when was this house built?
This house was built, they started building it in 1919. The family moved in 1920. And what's really cool about this house is, well, you know, it's arts and craft and all of that fancy stuff, but what I really like is one of those kids' homes. So people would buy kits from Sears and Roebuck catalog, or Woodward's or Eaton's or something like that. You know how you buy the Lego kit from the Wish book? Right? So you get the box and you get the instructions and then you get all the pieces for the Lego. Okay, well in this case, Mr. Trethewey, he only bought the blueprints. So everything else in Trethewey House, you know, ordinarily would have been brought in, all the building materials would have been brought in from outside of Abbotsford, but in this case, everything comes from Abbotsford. The brick and the tile is from Claiborne, and a very typical arts and crafts sort of, you know, the patterning and stuff on all the stuff. The rocks on the chimneys on the outside, that comes from underneath the house, from when they've dug out the foundation.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and we've even got plaster and horsehair in the wall with a little bit of Abbotsford horse.
Oh, just a nice touch of horse.
Yeah, that's it. And of course, you know, he was the lumber baron, so all the lumber comes from the mill, and that's why it's called Mill Lake, because of his mill.
I'm learning so much already. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And can you give me a little background information on the Trethewey family?
The Tretheweys? Okay, so the Trethewey family is actually quite a big family. They come from Cornwall in the UK, England. And so you've got two separate sort of strains that come to Canada. So we, in Abbotsford, we call our Tretheweys Tretheweys. The ones in Ontario are Trethaways.
Oh.
And so the guys that we have up on the wall here, we have J.O.'s mom and dad, so Mary Ann Ogle Trethewey and James Trethewey. And they were the first generation to come and settle in Mission. And then the boys took over a small mill that was located on Mill Lake back then. Of course, you know, Matsqui Lake originally, because we are located on Stalo Nation land right here. And so it would have been First Nations first. It is a natural lake. Everybody asks about that.
Oh, okay.
It's a natural lake, and there was a small mill on it already. And the boys came and took that over and made it the third largest lumber operation in the province of British Columbia in its day.
Is there any Christmas stories that really resonate with you?
I have in the dining room, I have a table that came from Mr. Poignant. So he would be sort of second generation to Canada. His parents moved, his mom and dad both moved, but separately. They didn't know each other until they met each other here.
Okay.
So they both come from Sweden, and granddad moved here as well. Settled in Ridgedale. And in 1928, when Ernie was nine years old, they bought this table with 5 chairs to go with it. And that's kind of a larger table for such a small house as what they had. But that table was purchased specifically at Gosling's, used at Gosling's, because that year was the year that they got power to their house out in Ridgedale. So they wanted to invite the whole family so that the whole family could fit around the table, because that was the first year that they were able to put Christmas lights in their Christmas tree. You see the candles in the Christmas tree?
Yeah.
Most people would have these clips, or these like what we have, the counterbalance weights, and then you put candles in there. You know how dangerous that is.
I was going to say, that's really scary.
Yeah, it is really scary. Ernie is 96 now.
Wow.
But we still hang out. So he
hang.
asked me if I would take the table, if I knew some young family that wanted that table. And I said, sure, the museum wants the table. And then he shone like a star as I'm driving him down to Walmart to buy his first ever dining room suite, because that was the table he's used all his life.
Wow.
So that table was used at their very first Christmas tree with lights in it. But then also, it has survived the flood of 1948. The table went upstairs because the chicken coop, everything downstairs got flooded, right?
Yeah.
So that went upstairs and you went in through the upper window and the chicken coop sat on top of the table so the chickens wouldn't drown. And then also his mother brought it to her apartment after the father died. She got an apartment and it survived a fire in the kitchen in its day. So that
It's a
table,
miracle table.
yeah, it is. It really is. It's survived, but it came with like, you know, a hutch and a buffet and everything. But he didn't think that it was a special table, and so he threw those pieces out before he came to me and asked me, you know, do you think there's a young family that could use this? I said, well, can I take it for the collection? She said, absolutely. So we've had it on display here for a while, and then after Christmas is over this year, we're going to put a new dining room suite in there. Well, new to us, it's a 1920s suite.
Oh my gosh.
But that's probably my favorite sort of Christmas thing that we have in the collection that has a story to go with it.